I think the only reason that why MMA fans have their lips so firmly planted at the base of Khabib's cock is because he retired before he reached his limit. And if he kept fighting until he reached his limit, everybody would be like, oh, Khabib ain't shit. He never was shit. And they're like that with everybody.
Okay. I think it's time that we all start to just consider the other possibility.
You know, I think it's kind of telling that every time a headline comes out about Ronda Rousey these days, and hell, for the last decade plus, you don't even have to read the headline to know that it's not going to be anything that you want to hear. No good news, no positivity regarding the woman who single-handedly shot WMMA into the mainstream zeitgeist. Nope. You just know that if you see a news article or a YouTube video with Ronda's face on it, that it's just going to either be reading about or watching her complain about MMA fans or WWE fans or just anyone under the sun for being too mean to her, wallowing around in her own self-pity, and the person covering her is rarely going to have nice things to say about her. This seems to be a bit of a vicious cycle. Ronda Rousey comes out in a podcast or an interview, says that everyone is out to get her, puts the blame squarely on everyone else rather than herself, and then the reaction to her saying that is widely negative because, of course it's going to be. And then I'm sure she sees all that and then feels affirmed in her wacko headspace.
That's why I don't talk to those people anymore.
Really?
When's the last time you saw me on Arrow Alani?
I don't know if I ever have.
It's been a long time.
It's been a long time?
Yeah, because I remember that shit.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh boy, I cannot stand Ronda Rousey. That's not a very controversial opinion in Big 2025, but dude, I mean it. She is actually rancid. I have all the respect in the world for what she was able to do with putting WMMA on the map and just the UFC in general. She was the biggest combat sports athlete in the world for a few straight years. It's actually kind of nutty how far that went. The run was impressive for what it was. She was very good at flipping ladies around like bags of sand and twisting them into ungodly positions. All the credit must go to her for what she was able to do. There, I'm not biased. I'm not just hopping on this bandwagon because everyone else shares this onion with me. We all have this same onion. This one right here. I started out being nice. About as nice as possible. So now I get to go into why I prefer the idea of shattering both of my femurs than listening to this woman talk about anything for longer than 15 seconds. It's crazy how long she's been able to keep up this steady stream of self-inflicted backlash. Ever since getting clocked by Holly Holm back in 2015, she's made it her mission to be as big of a PR disaster as humanly possible. I get snapping an undefeated streak in brutal fashion has to be hard. I can't relate, but I know it must be. But her response in defeat was anything but graceful. No interviews, no accountability, no congrats to her opponent. Nothing. Just a big old wet, soggy sob story. She's carried that energy for 10 years. Carried it into the Nunes fight and the aftermath, then carried it into WWE and managed to make everyone over there hate her too. And then ever since then, every time she appears in front of a camera, it's a never-ending woe is me fest. I know that I'm coming off like a bit of a dickhead internet penis person guy, and that's because I am. But I mean, come on. Ronda was such a mean-mugging, mean-spirited, shit-talking, no-handshaking, self-serious, self-aggrandizing piece of work that had the world at her feet and the promotional push of the UFC, had entire cards built around her, and she took all that and ran with it. And she'd have these bitter rivalries with these women and then refuse to show good sportsmanship after the fact, like she kept the bad blood bad. Just absolutely zero grace as a victor. So of fucking course, people were gonna dogpile her the second she dropped a loss. She was the very definition of a cry bully. And she's pushing 40 now, and she still is. She's still like this. No self-reflection, no growth. She's the same as she was dropping both of those losses back when Obama was president. So yeah, she pops into the public eye every few months or so when she feels like being in the spotlight. And in this case, it was on Bert Kreischer's podcast to promote her new graphic novel or whatever. And of course, you don't need me to tell you that at some point during this damn near 2-hour conversation between two of the most delusional bipeds in the continental US, we were in for some grade A, government-inspected, packaged and signed horse shit coming from their mouths. Midway through the podcast, Bert asked Ronda how she feels about her supposed friends criticizing her.
Yeah, I remember people who I thought, were my friends, and turns out that they weren't, so I just don't talk to them anymore because that helps them out. So why would I help them out if they're gonna, try and, I don't know. It's just I thought there was like a mutual respect there before that I realized was something that I just imagined. So.
Oh boy, here we go. Guys, if you criticize Ronda at all for the way she reacted in defeat or anything else she's ever said or done, She wants nothing to do with you. There's only mutual respect if you kiss her ass, apparently. And of course, Ariel Helwani or anyone else is going to be cordial when meeting you in person. That's just how people are. Helwani is just an MMA journalist who has opinions on things, and he's allowed to express them. Doesn't make him or anyone else that criticizes you a snake if they don't spit in your eye in person.
It is a weird being a critic without experience in the, like, physical experience and whatever, and my angle, it's always been comedy. When people critique comedy without ever having done it and knowing how difficult it is, it's always bothered me. But in a weird way, you got to sit back and go, that's what they do, I guess.
Oh yeah, you can't criticize anyone or anything if you can't do it better. I love this one. Can't criticize Bert for his shard-ass comedy routine, or Ronda for acting like a sourpuss unless you can do a better tight 15 or hip toss, guys. So you better knock it off. Remember, the next time you order a New York strip and it comes out tasting like cardboard, you are not allowed to criticize it unless you shoulder barge past the grill cook and do it yourself. I really shouldn't have to explain this, but criticism is good. It is a good thing. It's how anything improves, whether it be art, fighting, or anything else under the sun. The reason why both of these people suck ass is because they don't like criticism because it hurts their feelings. And thus, his comedy will always be trash, and she will never take accountability for why the fan base turned on her. And speaking of which,
MMA fans and media are the most "what have you done for us lately" crowd of any sport. Like you look at WWE and they have such a reverence for their legends. And at MMA, it's like the second that you're not on top, you're not shit and you never were shit. But Chuck Liddell, when he's on top, oh my God, he's the best. The second that he loses, oh, Chuck Liddell ain't shit, he never was shit. You know? And then Rampage Jackson, oh my God, he's the next Mike Tyson, he's so great. Second he loses, oh, Rampage ain't shit, he never was shit.
oh brother. She is huffing straight copium out of the can with this take. What in the barnacles is she talking about? People still like Chuck Liddell and Rampage Jackson.
Yeah.
GSP, oh, he loses, he's not shit, he never was shit.
GSP? What? GSP? Who have you ever heard of that doesn't like GSP? The only backlash he ever got was following that Johnny Hendricks decision, but that was 12 years ago. No one cares anymore. He's a legend and everyone loves the guy.
Anderson Silva, oh my God, he's like he was like almost a mythical creature for a while.
Yeah.
He was like this ninja and he would hypnotize everyone in front of him. And second he loses, oh, Anderson ain't shit. He never was shit. Fedor Emelianenko, great, one of the greatest ever. Second he loses, oh, Fedor ain't shit. He never was shit.
Again, I want you to name me a soul who has a problem with Anderson Silva and Fedor Emelianenko. What solar system is she living on? If anything, I'd say it's the opposite of what she's saying. People tend to look at the older champs and legends in general with rose-tinted glasses when comparing them to today's talent. Most people have a hard time putting new names in the GOAT conversation because these legends are so revered. And for every name she just mentioned, and for basically any of them that she didn't, whenever they show up to UFC events and the crowd cam pans over, the crowd usually goes ballistic for them. The fans understand that the sport they love was built off the backs of these older guys, and they respect them. But if Ronda was in the crowd, you'd be right in assuming she'd get booed to shit. And why is that? Is it really because she lost twice 10 years ago, as she would claim? No one would give a fuck if she just lost and retired gracefully and did her thing. It's the way she carried herself since and acted like everyone else is the problem at every turn. She's just done everything in her power to sour people's opinions on her, and I don't see her slowing down anytime soon, if this is any indicator.